Hello and welcome to the Film Whisperers here on Ben TV, where two movie nerds talk all things film with a contemporary lens. My name is Saj.
And I'm Alice.
So Alice,
Hi.
how you going?
Yeah, well, thanks. How are you?
I'm going well. So I guess in terms of what we're going to talk today, I've got a question for you. Have you been to a record store?
I think so, but I'm always like out of my depth when I go in there. Like just pure records.
Yeah.
CD store. Okay. Sanity.
JB Hi-Fi. No, I don't think that
It
counts.
doesn't count, does it?
No,
Not like a small owner-owned business.
Yeah.
I've been to one, but I went there to get my dress adjusted out the back. That was in Preston.
All right.
So there you go.
Were they doubling up as that's interesting.
Sign of the times.
Yeah. The reasons why I asked is because what are we discussing today? What's the movie?
Empire Records.
Empire Records, exactly. So I've got a synopsis here that I'm going to read, right? Mm-hmm. So this film came out in 1995. A day in the life of the employees of Empire Records, except this is a day where everything comes to a head for a number of them facing a personal crisis. Can they pull through together? And more importantly, can they keep their record store independent and not swallowed up by corporate greed? Have you seen this film before?
I would have seen it when I was a teenager and I remember loving it.
Yeah.
But no, I hadn't rewatched it till this week.
Yeah, same. We usually tend to unpack these films by firstly talking about what we liked about the film. I guess I'm just going to throw it out there. What did you like the film?
Yes and no. And no. I'd give it a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
I'm really on the fence about it. What do you think?
I struggled to. I'd probably go a 3 actually.
Okay.
And I think there was very little that I found engaging about it. I actually found it more problematic than what I remember when I watched it as a teenager. But okay, let's focus on what was good about it. So you gave it a 5.
Yes.
What would be in those 5 points?
Okay, so probably Liv Tyler.
Okay.
I love everything Liv Tyler, especially in the 90s. I just think she's so engaging to look at.
Yeah.
She might not even be the best actress, but there's just something about her. So,
she was 17 when she did this film.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Moving past that for now.
Yeah, let's move. Yeah.
I really loved the fashion.
Yeah.
I mean, the alt rock fashion of the time. I love Liv Tyler's outfit, even though it's a little bit problematic. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Even Renee Zellweger's character as well. The guys. It's just, I really like it because it's a snapshot in time. Even if perhaps the fashion is maybe what the rich kids could have afforded.
Yeah.
I still think it just gives you a good idea of what the teens thought were cool, for example, and what they were listening to. It was designed to sell records, actually, the film. So that was where the big corporate man was coming from. They, The Bodyguard, I think, came out in 1992.
Yeah. And
it did well, The Bodyguard, but the soundtrack was amazing. And so that's what they wanted to do, create another movie like about the soundtrack. So the story is kind of second fiddle to that, and it shows somewhat in the final product.
Yeah.
But can you notice that now when you think about it?
Yeah, I can. I gave it 3 points, 3 out of 10. And I think one of the points will definitely go to the soundtrack. I remember as a kid seeing the film clip to A Girl Like You by Edwyn Collins on MTV. Yeah. And that was my connection to the movie. So I if I remember right, back in the day, whenever you'd watch a film clip, they would have the artist, the song, and then it would say the name of the album at the bottom. And I remember seeing this film clip that said OST, original soundtrack, Empire Records. Yeah. And that was what made me want to watch the film.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and I think the soundtrack is pretty great. I guess the other 2 points partly would go to, I feel as if this was an introduction movie to a lot of those stars. I don't know if Liv Tyler had done acting in a motion picture before this, but Renee Zellweger, you know, she's big now. She's had 2 Academy Award nominations and an award, and to think that this was her start, it was actually pretty epic. And
she was not going to go for the role, but her boyfriend was cast in it. I think her boyfriend at the time, I can't remember which of them, but it was one of the main characters. Oh, I think it's the guy, the brooding character. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
The one with the hair. Sorry,
they've all got hair. They've all got
but
hair.
you know the 90s hair.
The black,
black
sunglasses. Yeah, so she was dating him at the time, I believe.
Okay.
And they found out that they still needed females roles casted, and that's why she went for it.
Okay.
So yeah, but it did launch a lot of their careers.
Anthony LaPaglia.
Yeah, I know.
That was pretty random. Yeah, exactly. Australia. Yeah. And I think also this, as you said, the fashion. I completely agree. And again, you know, I'm really struggling. There's not much positivity to it. I could, you know, every time I'm trying to say something, like, no, it's not. There's nothing good about it. If the intention was to sell records, you know, I'm guessing it did a good job. I also read that this film flopped.
Yes.
And I don't think it made over $1 million.
No, it made like 300, I think.
That's unheard of. Like, that's really bad for a film like that, to have this much of a cult following.
I think it's because of the editing. So from what I was learning from my research, they cut about 40 minutes out of the film.
Okay.
So there's a lot of backstory, a lot of, you know, things where they delve deeper into different character storylines and stuff, which were just cut because I think the studios really just got their fingers in it and were just trying to sell the soundtrack.
Okay.
So I think that's why maybe we're looking at the film now and thinking it's missing something. In the same token of that, I kind of like that it kind of doesn't really go too deep into any of the storylines.
Yeah.
It kind of, perhaps as a coming of age story, it leaves room for the teenagers and stuff to put their own life into what they're talking about, because it's only kind of just like I say, it's just the surface, so they can put what they want in it. Okay,
so how about we talk about what we didn't like, and I don't know where to start. I'm gonna pause, and I'm just gonna compose myself, and I'm gonna ask you, how long is that list?
Surprisingly, not that long.
Okay.
But there's main issues I had straight away was the way that the females are represented in this film.
Very one-dimensional.
Very one-dimensional.
And I feel as if they decided to go with 3 stereotypes.
Yes.
You know, you had the weird one that had the typical 90s angst.
Yep.
You had the innocent one that wasn't sure about what she wanted in life. And you had the promiscuous one.
Yes. Yeah, just 3. And they didn't get, they didn't get along with the maybe ugly character. The alternative angsty one.
Yes.
Of course, they had to be fighting. The pretty girl and the angsty girl can't be friends. So I found that was the first sign. I was like, why? Why do they have to have a cat fight already?
Yeah.
And the other thing I found is that all 3 of them had a emotional blow up in the film. They scream. They don't know how to control their emotions. They've all got issues. One's self-harming, one's on speed, and the other one's a slut, just to quote what the other characters are telling her.
Yeah.
And she's promiscuous, and she's told off by everyone for it.
Yeah.
Like, she is really hounded in for being free with her body.
I guess this is a bit of a content warning, because we're going to now talk about the self-harming aspect of it. I thought it was so disrespectful the way they tackled self-harm. In fact, they made it seem like it was a glorified thing, in my opinion. I was shocked at how they handled that.
I agree with you. I think the first thought I thought is, she self-harmed last night and she's coming into work.
Yeah.
She was that low and now she's at work, and then she cuts all her hair off as well, which is a bit of a stereotype trope for females.
Yeah.
Do you know, actually, I learnt that that character, the actress, wasn't going to get the role because she was too cute. Then she wasn't. She was too cute to be angsty, and so she said, "I'll cut my hair off," and that's how she got the role.
This is another problematic thing, and I'm hoping things are changed now because we're looking at what, it's nearly 30 years later.
Yeah.
Why were actresses fighting to be in this film? Because, you know, surely they would have read the script and gone, "There's nothing in here for women. Why do you reckon they would have done that?"
Because that's all they had. I don't think there was the opportunity, so they get the. And to be fair, we don't know the full script because 40 minutes of it was cut out. So there might have been a bit more backstory, but you're right. Why was she willing to cut her hair and she went on to do the craft 2 months later, so she had to wear a wig. Yeah. But that's a good point. Yeah. It's a bit sad.
What was your most problematic scene?
Oh, geez. Maybe the Liv Tyler, there's so many. Liv Tyler getting naked for Rex Manning, trying to opening herself up like that, just taking her top off, and just any of the semi-nudity, unnecessary semi-nudity of the females.
Yeah, I was going to say that definitely was it, and I think it's probably that and the Robin, I can't remember her surname now, but the actress who went on to do the craft, the whole scene with the funeral, I thought that was just like, this is not funny at all, and it's actually quite problematic. But Maxwell Caulfield, I mean, that was another a random thing, and I only knew him from Grease 2.
I don't know Grease 2.
Right. Well, he was a lead in Grease 2, and then it was really weird to see him in this, and he's almost playing this Barry Manilow-esque thing.
Weird.
Yeah.
Did you watch the film clip? It's in its entirety online.
The video, the film clip? No, I did not watch it.
It's so bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's Debbie Mazar as well, who is I think it's his agent.
Yes.
We forgot about her, I guess, as the fourth female.
Yes.
And I mean, her character's quite tiny, but still, even that character wasn't given much depth to it.
It was just weird that the things, they jumped from place to place, but we didn't get much of why they got to there. For example, Liv Tyler, why did the guy exposes himself to her after she asked him to. Yeah. And then she freaked out and ran off. Yeah. And then when the gang's making fun of the Rex Manning character. Yeah. I think was it Gina? But
Renee Zellweger.
No, sorry, not what's the other one? The agent.
Yeah. Yeah.
When the agent is finding out that everyone's making fun of Rex, she decides to quit straight away. Yes. And you're like, okay, you haven't got much gumption there. You're just quitting because a couple of teenagers in some Midwestern record store is making fun of him. Yeah. It's a bit weird.
Yeah, that is true. Oh, I also have to point this out. There were no people of color.
Yes. That was one of my dislikes. There was a lot of just all white people. Yeah. And a lot of white people dancing as well, which was also not that great.
No. And I feel as if there was a moment in time where a lot of films needed a dance montage. Yeah. And this film was no exception.
Yes. No, yeah.
And but this very bad
dancing.
Yeah.
But almost so bad it's almost good. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah.
Because they just have no choreography at all. You can tell they've just been told to dance. And maybe something almost good about that is that, like, today's film, for example, would be so polished, the dancing. And it's kind of nice to see them just being like kind of regular people who just are moving their bodies.
Yeah, it's mainly the men. It's the straight white men who have the bad dances.
There's a lot of just jumping and headbanging.
Yeah.
But I guess that was the culture for the alt rock scene anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess in a way, I'm glad that even though the film flopped, a lot of those actors, their careers didn't stall. They went on to do some really great work. But I think to me, what I didn't like about it was the female characters and the lack of representation of the people of color. Was there anything else that you didn't like about it?
I think we've kind of covered it. Maybe the undeveloped storylines.
Yeah.
We've discussed this. I think the editing just destroyed the film.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see it in its entirety.
Yeah.
And see what the full vision was. I think the script is not the best writing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's really. Oh, there's one more thing.
Yeah.
When Corey and AJ get together at the end.
Yeah.
They do this thing which is a pet hate of mine in the 90s films where Corey's pushing him. She's annoyed at him that they're trying to get together, and what do? There's violence. And they would do this in these films where the two love interests have to be violent towards each other. And as a discovering coming of age film, there's a lot of teenagers who would watch that and think, oh, that's romantic. That's what you've got to do. You've got to push your lover around. Newsflash, no, you don't. You shouldn't do that. It's violent. 100%.
All right. So what would we change about it?
Okay.
One of the questions that I have now, I usually tend to do this, but I didn't do it with this film. Does this film pass the Bechdel test?
Okay. I think that they did discuss some things like Harvard. Which test are you talking about?
Where two female characters.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Corey was discussing getting into Harvard and studying and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there was a few, but it was mostly about the boys.
Yeah, because if I remember right, when we get when the introduction of the angsty character, I feel as if the Liv Tyler and Renée Zellweger, they're talking about her. And I think one of the lines delivered was, oh, she doesn't like me very much. And I maybe that was the moment it passed the Bechdel test.
Yes.
Because they were talking about a girl rather than... but I can't think of any other...
It's very much on I feel like it's just passing.
Yeah. So, so what are some of the things that we would change about it if it came out in 2023?
First of all, it'd be a better representation of Middle America, probably.
Yeah.
Personally, I think it would be good. I was thinking about it if we got to make it, for example.
Yeah.
Is to bring it into Australia, perhaps. I think the headlines about the Australian music industry is a bit off. Like we haven't got Australian representation, that Australian cringe that we have. We're more interested in international artists. So as you can see in the ARIA charts this year, so I think it'd be kind of cool to play into that a little bit. And maybe, I'm not sure, maybe we do have a record store, but we're trying to get, or maybe it's like the Tote or something like that, like a Australian venue, which is getting sold off to developers for condos, and so maybe something like that.
I would put the entire cast of Heartbreak High.
Ooh, okay.
And I think, they are in my opinion, the best example of inclusivity on TV. And I would definitely just put the entire cast in a record store and go, I won't even give them a script, and I'll just say, just be who you want to be, and I'll film it. That sounds so good. I'd watch it. Look, I do have a girl crush on Zendaya, and I would find a way to bring Zendaya into the picture.
I also wrote down Zendaya.
You did?
I was like, makes no sense, but Zendaya.
I think there's something about her that feels very Empire Recordsy. I don't know.
She's got that cool girl factor.
Yes.
I was thinking, we discussed who we would cast now.
Yeah.
That was so hard for me because the actors, we know that that's where they kind of got their breakout roles. So I was trying to think of people who I don't really know to do the role, and I couldn't do it. So it was just a big mix. But I would say, let's change the genders around as well too. I don't want maybe the Liv Tyler is a male or whatever character.
I'd also
switch it around.
I'd also make some of them queer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think the owner of the store, I think I would make them female.
Female?
Yeah.
Wait, who did I put for the owner? Oh, do you know who I did? I did think that too, but then I was trying to think of what could kind of work, like a rocker from the 90s, and I put Travis Barker.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah.
I feel like that would get people to watch.
Yeah. 100%.
And it's so
100%. And I also think that it would be a good opportunity for, I don't want to say it has been, but the Rex Manning character, I think that would, I think someone from maybe the early 2000s was really famous.
Yeah.
To make like a resurgence, or so to speak.
Like Usher or something?
Yeah, like Usher. Yeah, like
That could
Usher.
be
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the list is endless. I mean, Usher's done a bit of acting.
Yeah.
So even someone like something funny like Pink,
Ooh.
because she has done acting before, and
Yeah,
she's a good actress. Yeah, she's great. So I think that's another sort of another opportunity, I guess this film could explore. And yeah, I don't know. I think it would be interesting if it was set in Australia.
I didn't put any Australian actors when I made my list, but yeah, I couldn't think of any Australian actors, which was bad. But Heartbreak High, that's good.
What else would we want to?
Okay, well, we've said mix up, change the sexes. I would make it MA15+ as well.
Yeah.
So they can. That was another issue, is that they kind of, they couldn't say drugs, like the pizza guy. He was just bringing brownies. Like
yeah.
They couldn't mention the drugs. They couldn't mention the sex and drugs of the rock and roll.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
So let's hike it up a bit, so we can actually like tell the full story.
Yeah. Who would you put in the soundtrack?
Oh, that's hard.
I've got two artists I can think of that I feel would be on brand. I think Harry Styles would be one of them, and I think Lizzo is another.
Oh yeah.
But because I was also thinking something like Ariana Grande, but I'm thinking no, I don't think that's on brand. But
No.
yeah.
And would we would change the music genre as well then?
Oh, it's a hard one. I don't know.
Because I almost think perhaps even doing some like techno or trance might be fun as well.
Yes, yeah.
Just to make it a bit more real, mix it up a bit, because that's how we consume music now these days anyway. It's such a big mix. Maybe we just put a whole bunch of TikTok music.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
Peaches.
Yes. I mean, that's how a lot of music is consumed these days, right? Songs now get popular more on TikTok rather than other forms of media. And I think that so many people recognize songs from a clip on TikTok first. Yeah. And I think, for example, the Taylor Swift song Antihero, I think everyone's heard It's Me High, whatever. So maybe that's a good way of doing it. And a couple of TikTok artists.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's interesting on that note, when we're talking about the snapshot of the times, something I liked about it. Yeah. And then what we would change today is that it does show how the teenagers, but everyone, how they were consuming music. Yeah. How they were getting it. They were going there. And I remember putting on headphones and listening to music. They had little booths. Yeah. So it'd be nice now to see how they're consuming it now through TikTok.
Maybe it would be good if we could sort of still cover that setting. So meaning, you would go to a record store if you wanted to be immersed in that right? That feeling. Yeah. So maybe that's something that we just stick to and kind of still have that vibe of this is the 90s. And this is when you walk through that door, you feel like you are, in the 90s or in the 80s.
Yeah, that's true. There's such a call for like nostalgia at the moment. So I think really playing into that would be good. And you'd get a lot of Gen X and millennials watching it, as well as Gen Zs as well. Yeah. So yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. Anyway, that was fun, Alice.
It was fun. And, thanks for having me.
And thanks for watching the Film Whisperers here on Ben TV.